And hello, I've gathered my pals Joe and Tyler to talk about Dandadan like we do roughly 4 or 5 times a year when I
Dan,
do
Dan.
my catch up binges, if we're
Yeah,
lucky.
this is Willer's
Yeah.
fault this time, not no one else's.
I am an attentive young lad who reads his anime.
Who reads his anime?
Yep.
It is my fault. Now, Joe, don't you cast stones in your glass berserk shaped house, good
Uh huh.
sir. Um,
I have the excuse of they're fucking in storage right now, so I can't even get to them.
Now you have that. Yeah, now you have that excuse. So we'll let it slide now. But it was not
Yeah.
sliding before. Maybe Chainsaw Man catch up next month. This was great though. Because it's been a while, we left off right when Vomola was finishing her flashback, and then everyone got like
Yeah.
a morale boost, which is the page that this is probably not going to be in the video because throwing these manga pages on the videos can be dicey, as we found out from losing our channel twice.
Uh huh.
But basically, all the nice emotions fire up all the kids, and we got like the back half of that arc. Then we have like two mini arcs. There's the one with the cops. Maybe that's not even an arc of its own, but you got the one with the school rep, and now you have the most recent arc, which will be funny to talk about. We'll save that for the end. So, um, I forgot how we structure these. I think I just bring up like cool moments,
Mm-hmm.
and then just talk about all the things that happen. So we got this. We got like the emotional flashback, and then I think the next like thing is the Serpo guy does some cool stuff. I don't know if I grabbed a screenshot of that. We'll see. But what does happen for sure, and I don't know if y'all thought of this. Have y'all seen Gurren Lagann?
Yeah.
This was just
Oh,
straight up like
yeah.
the Gurren Lagann arc because both Gigi and what's her Ira both get like
Mm-hmm.
spiral based super attacks that they use to
Yeah.
destroy the big robots.
They gotta
literally
use their
does-
spiral power.
I,
She literally does Giovanna's like quirsical attack.
you're
and,
right.
That's
Noble
like
Dra-
exactly
Yeah.
immediately.
This
why-
is this is still the space globalist arc, which
Yes.
is what it's
Yeah.
called.
Wait,
Yeah,
that's what
'cause
it's
this is-
called. Okay, I don't
Yeah,
know the arc
space
names.
global. Yeah. Because each person ends up getting kind of like their own fight
Yes.
against the elite bug aliens.
Right.
Yeah.
We got the two bug bros, but then like a standout fight was the shrimp guy. Can we talk-
Yeah, shrimp guy's goaded.
Shrimp guy is great. Like they go into the water, and he's like,
Mhm.
"I'm stronger in the water," but then the enemy's like, "Well, actually, I'm also 10 times stronger in the water." So they have a cool
Yeah.
aquatic battle. See, so this is his true form, and this is how he was introduced in like this like more shrimpy
Yeah.
form. But then recently we've seen him with like I don't know, like the flathead. So I was like, is that the same dude? But yeah,
This is disguise. Yeah.
he was in the Loch Ness monster arc, right? That's where we
Yeah.
met
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
More importantly,
He-
his son has the milk chapter, which is
Yeah.
like one of my favorite chapters where they abduct the cow.
It's like the most like
Oh.
paid off thing of just like final like literally a page like a classic like abduction page.
This is okay. So it's been so long.
Yeah, no, I get you. I'm trying to help jog the
But
memories of how you
this
felt.
this is such a crazy arc so far in this manga because remember this arc starts off with the slit-mouthed woman.
Right, which
Yeah.
we'll get to her because this arc also ends with the slit mouth woman. Now that,
Yes, I was like, what the fuck?
that slit mouth woman little mini arc was great because it got the Serpo guy. I think his name is Rokuro, or at least
I
that's what
like
she called
Serpo
him.
guy.
I like Serpo guy a lot. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about him when his stuff comes up. So they beat all like we've been fighting like those robots when that arc goes, and like they're really tough, and then we Kamehameha them and we Giovanna them, and then all of a sudden the main guy summons a bunch of other aliens. In
Dudes.
fact, this top left one I think was from the manga cafe. It was like the no, I don't think so. There was like some psychedelic, like hypnotic guy in that arc. But this,
Yeah, no, that's not him. They killed that guy.
this left guy is a fuck though. He's been in the whole arc.
Oh, he's a fucking asshole.
I
They
think
can't. And don't forget Sniper Coon in the top right.
That's a new. Oh, I thought Sniper Kun got no. Sniper Kun's buddy got drilled. Yeah.
Don't
But
forget
we got you
Xenomorph's
guys.
head.
Yeah, Xenomorph head.
This guy looks scary. So this was scary. But this is like one of my favorite pages here from this stretch. So those guys just showed up, and Momo just looks like she gives up for a second and then gets up, and like grits her teeth and bares her fist and like faces it, but she always looks scared the whole way. That's one of my
I like this.
favorite little
Yeah.
characterization moments for like the kind of courage but humanity that Momo has, which makes her very endearing.
Yeah. I just like the what's it called? The framing of the shot.
The
composition
paneling
of the
is
tops.
great.
Yeah, it's like because you have this sense of them being surrounded by these guys, and how small they are.
Yeah.
It's just really good.
But that leads to some really gratifying shit.
Yeah.
Last time I saw this boy at this point was the curry scene where he triumphantly eats the "I love you" curry, which I got some shit to say about that "I love you" curry. We'll get to that. And then like he learned how to travel through the wires, which is just like now an ability that's part of his moveset. Like he just fights like that now, so that's cool.
It's his spiral power.
True. Yeah. True. Everyone.
Yeah, he has to spiral through the wires.
But yeah, like this is a weekly manga. Don't forget. So all these spreads look gorgeous. It's become my favorite meme. Just reminding that like somehow this is a weekly manga. Which leads...
I told you how they do it, right?
How do they do it? Because actually, I noticed something today.
A lot of their background work is Photoshop stuff.
Yeah.
The buildings very likely are.
Yeah.
Yes. Some of it's real screenshots, some of it's screen grabs, but they have like manga filters. They either trace or Photoshop it.
That's why they look so good.
Regardless, they do a really good job still.
No, I mean, if you need to use those techniques to put this like these character models always look insane, and then the backgrounds are always on point. And what you can Photoshop as much as you want, but when you have a screenshot like the next one, that's
like
just
who gives a fuck? Yeah.
No, this is just talent right here. What the fuck is all this? Like this is crazy.
What type of video game do you think this will be adapted to in 2 first?
A really
Muso.
You wish it was a Muso because Musos are fun. You know what this is gonna be, Tyler? A Bandai Namco arena
3D
fighter. That is ass.
Is it not gonna wait? What is a Muso?
Those are the like warrior games where you're beating.
Oh man, I also thought it was gonna be a warrior.
I would love that, but you know it's gonna be like that new Jujutsu Kaisen game that it was really bad that just came out. So yeah, here we're looking at like everyone shows up, everyone gets their second wind, and they just start beating the shit out of these robots in these really cool spreads.
Don't forget, these are mech suits.
They are mech suits, right? Because they're actually Cthulhu aliens inside their suits. So these
are suits made out of the bodies of other things they put into some other alien that shits these out.
The Big Mother! I forgot about that in the Volbola flashback. I actually reread that flashback leading up to this because I was like, I remember this being really sad and it was great. The story was needing that kind of like emotional gut punch with one of the main characters. I've also noticed when Okarun shows up here, he starts calling Momo Momo-chan for the first time. He usually says Miss Ayase. I will note that this was short-lived because after, like, I guess this adrenaline runs off, he starts calling her Miss Ayase in the next arc again. So,
I like how we have Pilot, Okarun, and Momo in the top right.
Oh my god, that's what this little shit looked like in the first chapter?
That's what they look like.
That is so fucking funny. His glow-up has been immaculate. Yeah, Momo's look mostly the same, but she looks less mean, I think, these days.
I mean, compared to the thing in the top left of her, like, eating.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, when she looks like an idiot, she looks... I forgot about this one. the most top left with her hair up. So this page is the one where Momo just got, like, warped by so the main alien has the hand as an ability from JoJo's, which is sick. But he can also, like... He's actually got Blackbeard because he can, like, shoot it back out. It's got, like, darkness for... And Momo just went in, and Okarun is losing it. But actually, it was part of the plan because she busts through it, and then it hits him with a Momo Neo Tri Beam. However, this arc is still getting crazier. So I see what you're saying with the Photoshop, by the way, later.
Yeah.
You can see it a lot in the backgrounds. But the alien takes Vamula's suit and turns it into a giant, like, Godzilla-looking monster.
Yeah.
Which leads to some peak fiction. Where I believe... I always get his name. It's like Sakata or Kinta or both, but I think one of them is like a nickname. And I wrote Sakata in my notes. Shows up with an Akira slide.
Of course, it has to be the Akira slide.
And he shows
like as
up...
soon as he got that fucking bike, I was like, he's gonna slide in there like Akira.
I should have known. I was not familiar with this guy's game, but I've since learned. He shows up with a note that Momo left behind at the house, and they all get pissed. It's like, you motherfucker, that was supposed to be for Granny. We're gonna die now. But they're like talking about how like whatever he showed up. This you weren't supposed to show up. We didn't want. As he says, that's cool. I'll just pretend I didn't hear that. And what I feel like should be a meme panel. Look at him all standing up in here. It's so fucking funny. And then we get. So we were talking about Gurren Lagann. We have very cool looking giant mechs here for a big Godzilla kaiju battle. So like this is where we're at with this manga now. We're doing kaiju battles like on the reg. Can I just bring up that mechanic? I've probably said this before. Where like when they do supernatural battles, like space warps around them, so they're in the same location, but this doesn't reflect the real world.
It's only aliens that can do it because they put it in like a preemptive. Yeah, a preemptive field so they can get in there without people noticing or something like that.
Ghosts could too because I thought Reiko, the smiling, like slit-faced woman, was also in a. But maybe Serpo did that because he was that arc.
No, the smiling face woman. They were just in the ruins that no one goes to, so no one sees them. So no one's just able. It's just a place that's creepy that no one goes into. Okay. So it's kind of like I think the idea being is that like. The spirits just kind of create creepy fields and it keeps people away, but like if you go in there, because like it's the thing with the tunnel with Turbo Granny, like there's just no one went to her tunnel because
Turbo Granny tunnel, which was also a joke. That was like a highway star battle. Yeah. So this happens, and then like all these ships show up. Also, I think I skipped one page that I wanted to talk about. At one point, Kinta in the mech picks up like the Tokyo Tower, and then he does all these mental gymnastics of like why the Tokyo Tower is sacred. So he's like, therefore, this tower is a sacred sword, and then slashes through the enemy. Like it was a really funny gag.
Yeah, I was very confused what the fuck was going on because I was taking him very seriously for some reason.
No, because sometimes he looks serious, but it always leads to a punchline.
Yeah.
So they think they stop everything, like they stop the teleporter, every ship comes through. This was a big what the fuck moment for me.
Yeah.
Which leads to Reiko showing up all of a sudden, which was a double what the fuck moment. It's like, oh, how could this get worse? But then she just kind of uses every mirror in the city to produce a giant punch that wipes out
every broken shard of glass, basically.
Yeah. And then she goes on to like trap every ship in like a mirror dimension where she just starts punching the shit out of everything. Insane.
That's good. Like imagine that as a final move in a fighting game. That's the IK. Like you just get fucking nuked.
Ideally, this is a JRPG with a growing party, and this is a summon creature. That's the future we need.
Every shonen ideally is a JRPG.
Ideally, they are. They just need to commit. They just don't sell well.
Have to figure it out. And actually make them long and like good pacing.
How did y'all feel about this resolution? Yeah, well, that's a whole thing. How do y'all feel about this resolution for this arc?
I don't know, man. It feels like it's on par with the rest of the manga.
The thing is like I feel like it was a point of we hit our emotional beats like twice, or like we had like two kind
It was the most emotionally charged arc by far.
We had like we had like 3 drops already, because we had Viola getting almost insta killed, we had the rest of the aliens showing up, and then we had the kaiju showing up, right?
And also like Gigi and Ira get like their asses beat in like the first encounter. So yeah.
And that ties in with the Viola. That's the first kind of like losing dip. So it's just like when the Vamola, sorry. When the other ships came up, it was kind of like I was real worried that like it's like we need to like wrap the fuck up in some sort of way. And I think this is okay. It's cool to look at. It's good. But it also feels like we kind of like cut Reiko short, but I also really like Reiko's background, especially with the imagery that's tied with the fist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like we only got a glimpse of it, but it seems like she was in a like World War II bombed city or something.
Yeah.
I forgot how that went. I don't think we got all the stuff there.
She had a crush or something, and he went to war, and he died in the war. So it's like
it's interesting. I was a bit let down, but then I think they go on to say that she's like the most powerful yokai.
Yes.
Which
she'll probably show up later.
Which is like, I think she will be a more recurring character, which makes me feel a little bit better, because it's like, this is a one-off, like, there will be consequences to her helping us out at this point.
Yeah.
Because, like, as ridiculous as this series is, like, the author, Tatsu, is so talented, like, we've seen him do good story beats and, like, good plotting, so it's like, I don't always, like, I expect him to have a good plot as well as everything else, because I know he can. So it's just one of those scenarios where it's like, okay, let's let Reiko cook.
Yeah.
She also, I don't know if I grabbed the picture for it, but something that I thought was very important is when she tells Momo to stop squandering her chance at love.
Yeah, I posted that in our sword chat.
Yeah, I need to go. Now that we're gonna talk, I'm gonna go through all your spoilers.
Because I was Reiko like shit talks her at the end there. It's just that like you gotta get your shit together.
Yeah, and it's like I'm with Reiko. Reiko has my same complaint with this story, where it's like, God damn it, don't tease me the whole way. Like, the thing is, it's still good because the teasing is always so cute. Like, the will they, won't they is well executed, but I just know. Yeah. I just know this author would cook up the best, like, shonen romance if he just, like, locks in and does it, you know? Like, I would be interested to see how he writes them actually dating and, like, having fights and breakups and stuff like that, as opposed to just the very long will they, won't they, where we got the I love you curry, and he's like, what kind of I love you did you mean? Which is fair. He's a teenage boy. But yeah, like... this is what I say every time we come here, where it's like, it's all great, but, like, I'm eager for the day that the trigger is pulled and all that. I grabbed this page here. It's just, like, a slice of life page. But, it's Okarun, like, going, oh, she always says I love you to Gigi, does she really love you? But then Gigi goes, merci bouquets. He's trying to say merci beaucoup, if y'all didn't get that joke, but it fucking slayed me. I love mercy buckets.
Mercy buckets.
And yeah, it's like, as I complained, this cutest fucking shit happens where she hugs him and then he, like, has an out-of-body experience. It's very...
He spirals back into the wiring.
Yeah, that would have been funny. What else we got? Okay, which leads us into...
Oh, right, we had this mini arc.
The mini arc with the school rep. So I think I've been saying for a while that I wanted the school rep to be a main character. She just had that vibe about her.
The shit was rad.
I really like this. She's very funny. As soon as she's introduced, I'm like, okay, so she's introduced, right? But when this arc starts up, she has that, like, Okarun, are you a vampire? And he's like, what do you mean? And she's like, I've seen you turn into a vampire, all over the place. And then she has, like, that fantasy of, like, what he would do to her. I was like, there it is. She can't be too sane, because this is Dandadan. There's got to be some insanity in this girl, and it is her wild sexual fantasies, which is a very funny gag. So I'll give it to her. But
Always
yeah,
quiet ones.
this it's always they're freaks, bro. Don't trust them. This leads to the search for the Golden Ball arc, which is all sorts of absurd. She turns it into the police station. We'll check in on that later. But she is haunted by a ghost that's like on her back as kind of guilt that she feels for losing a friend in the past. And then we go into her backstory, which is brutal. Did y'all like this backstory? Did y'all like this character?
It's kind of weird because like I felt like we're getting a double whammy of those sad backstories like right after each other, right?
That's like the ghost always got the sad backstories before. I guess it's like it's happening to humans now. Because before it was like ghost tragic stories, but now we're getting humans with a tragic past, which I think probably her. Vamola's not a human, but you know she counts.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
But I overall really liked it in general, and I thought it was a really good backstory. It's also a really real backstory as well, because it's just like, you know, sometimes as kids you think like things are just like actually your fault when they're really not.
Yeah. This girl's home life is very upsetting to me. Like,
yeah,
because it's like the mom and the grandma are not like bad people inherently. It's just like their situation's so bad that like she's just stuck in this and she's trying to be as helpful as she can. Which leads to friction with her friends, and it's very sad. I like how the little girl, you get the twist later that like at the recital, she's the one that wanted to apologize to, I think her name is Rin, so that's why she leaves, which leads to them both dying, which is dark and fucked up and great. That's what I like to see. Which that comes in fruition in this insane fight. I don't even know how to explain this shit. It was Mad Max, right? This was a Mad Max reference.
Yeah, There's like straight up the dudes from the movie with like the bowls.
They're back here.
Yeah, they brought in the band.
Yeah, I love that these guys are like recurring allies. That they're not part of the main crew, but like if we need them, we call them.
They're gonna be the halftime show.
How is this not gonna be a Mosu game with this fight?
This would be so good for like a Warriors fight. This thing's design is so cool. Like the people coming out of the buildings are running on them. I think I grabbed some screenshots of it. Meanwhile, like the band's creating a shield around it. This is pretty nutty. Like the actual like action that happens here is not very interesting, but just the concept I thought was really fun. What else we got here? It was
great payoff.
Very satisfying payoff to get her to fill in for the musician, the vocalist. And you go from pop idol to heavy metal. Shit's rad.
Agretzko,
and very Agretzko vibes. It's just very cute. And
it's a really good just small arc.
The payoff here is great when like they get to see each other and be friends again. They even get to sing together. It's really cool. I will say though, I don't like how the girl became a annoying like little ghost that follows Rin around. Like,
that's really weird. That was very, very strange. I think the author is trying to break his like. I think he doesn't want to keep. He wants to keep the readers on toes, or he just doesn't want to keep repeating of like, all right, the ghost now forms with the person, that's their power now. Like I think he's trying to like break it up.
Everyone, ever since Sakata and his like mechs, like I think all of the characters are getting new abilities. Granted, the newest one, which we'll get to, is a lot like Okaroon and Ira, more so than the new ones. But it's good to have some variety. But I just don't like the ghost itself. Like his personality is annoying. Her personality. I like how it fights with Turbo Granny, but we'll see. We're still very early to what that like character is. Whatever excuse we have to have class rep in the main party, I'm cool with. So works for me. This also has the infiltration segment where like they try to get Turbo Granny to infiltrate the police station to get information on the Golden Ball. And as soon as she enters and like looks at the computer, she's like, "Yeah, I don't know how to read all that shit," and just immediately leaves. Like before they're even out of like the square that the station's in, Turbo Granny is already running behind them. Like
It's so fucking funny.
oh my god, what a waste of time. But Best Boy Serpo shows up, hacks it immediately, gets all the information on the cop, tricks the cop into thinking that he's actually there by like talking. He's the one talking to him on the phone.
Yeah.
Serpo guy rules. And he's been outcast from from like his tribe. He has to work a convenience store job. He's the most tortured character in the series so far.
Oh, this whole other mini arc with them going to the police station, I was just thinking like, this is just a fucking JoJo's encounter. Because like, one's actually fighting for like the first like half of this. It's just straight up a bunch of bullshit happening.
It is straight up JoJo's. So, you want to know how this series is made the way it is? I don't know why it took me 100 chapters to realize. Look at how many copy and pasted panels there are.
Yeah.
But used really intelligently, where it's like it's copy and pasted, but the effect is like still there. Like
or just like taking the same face like the top right, zooming in a little bit, and then just darkening it up a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
No, like I mean, this one with Momo and Ayase is the same one.
And the cop.
Yeah, the cop one.
Yeah, that's used 4 times on this image.
This right cop is the exact same pose as this left cop. He just like shrunk up and filled in the details.
And the top panel.
And the bottom left.
Yep.
I think the bottom left, the angle's a little
That's
different.
just zoomed in.
No, I think
that's just zoomed in more.
But like I can't like it's lazy but efficient. Like it's well used. But what it lets him do is spend time making the bangers that we love every week. In fact, I think that sequence of like the alien guy that pulls you in doing like the combo and Okaroon is used like 2 times in that fight. Doesn't matter. It's used well in both. It's the Yakuza of manga. You reuse those animations.
The point is, you can't tell while you're reading it. It's when you go back and start kind of analyzing it on a more artistic level.
I mean, like, I realized it now, and now I can't unsee it when I'm reading the chapters. But like, it's used sparingly. First of all, it's like once or twice a chapter, but it's really effective.
I would love if this cop came back or gave Serpico a job. Actually.
This cop is actively following Okaroon and Rin.
Also,
so I think he's gonna be.
Wasn't there like something else discussed that was just like a really like weird one-off like page or panel about some other like alien here? Am I crazy?
I don't remember that, or I didn't take note of it.
Yeah, but like this cop has been following them.
So there's gonna be more to him. Leads us into the little school brawl. This part was nonsense.
This is nonsense.
Like it wasn't even like I was like, okay, move on with it. Like it was just so many ridiculous, goofy characters showing up, and like I didn't know where we were going. I could never have predicted where we were going. I will just say that.
Never, ever. I was shocked.
Never ever could I have predicted this. So yeah, we get this. Like they're looking for a guy named Zuma. Zuma is the person who got the ball. I skipped something that I think we should talk about before we move on. What the fuck is Saint Germain? What?
That's who I was thinking of.
Yes, okay, that's what you're thinking of. So Saint Germain shows up. He's talking with the aliens. He's like working with them. Yeah. And then he walks out of like a museum exhibit into the world, and everyone just knows who he is somehow. Like what? Yeah. And now he's their school teacher, and they're like, "Who's this guy again?"
And they're like, "Who the fuck is this?"
I think we're led to believe, there's no proof, but he's got to be the guy who told Zuma about the golden ball, right? And like told him to go destroy the world that we'll talk about in a sec. Yeah. So that's happening. So this guy runs at them. He's fighting with the other gangsters, and it leads us to the setup where like Zuma takes care of a lot of other people who live in bad parts of neighborhoods. So immediately he seems like a good guy.
He's the Yakuza boss. He's like Kiryu.
He's like a kind mafia gangster kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
And you find out that Zuma went into Jumanji to save this guy, and I'm like, what? I got tricked into reading Isekai 100 chapters.
Yeah, that's how I felt
Oh my god, I'm talking
Get
about an
wrecked.
isekai in a discussion video with Tyler right now.
saw
I
this,
lost.
and I was like, "Oh, this is the Tyler arc."
Yeah,
fucked.
I can't get fucked. But this is ridiculous. I don't even know
Yeah.
if we can call this an isekai arc. Well, the latest chapters were in the town a little bit, but it's also like show game arc because like once
Yeah.
they get in, it's just absurd.
It reminds me of the arc in Yu-Gi-Oh where they have to go say Kaiba or Mokuba, whoever it is.
From the isekai world, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, like, going into it is very hype. Like,
That's just a picture of the Nepal mountains.
it's a good manga filter on it if that's the case.
It is.
Like, let them cook. Okay, but this is not a picture of nothing. This is art, maybe. Like,
That guy's from Berserk.
this is a copy shot from Berserk. Yeah, so Zuma shows up to help her with the night guy. He immediately comes off as like a very cool character. Like my read on his character is very interesting. Where like he seems very very kind and like very airheaded.
Yeah.
Like he's not as intimidating
goofy.
as I feel like he would be for like how they talk about him in the outside world, right?
Right.
He's pretty like lighthearted and like his demon form though looks so sick. Like his weapon fighting style's umbrella. Yeah, okay.
2D fighter go hard. Like this guy's like gets an install and like this is whole thing.
They're all
Where he has-
install characters. What you mean?
Well, like him especially, he talks about like he can't do it for very long.
Yeah, well he's newer to it.
Yeah.
He'll get there. But
Mm-hmm.
his whole thing, he's a setup character because he puts the umbrella on you and it detonates, which is how he kills.
It's
I
a
think.
counter.
Yeah.
He's a counter boy.
He's set play, sets up the traps. So that's part one. Part two is this ridiculous chef game with the frogs.
Yes.
Where the chef calls out a thing, and if you're not touching the thing, he kills you. So that was like a fun little gimmick. Interestingly, they don't have their powers here unless they're holding the golden ball, which I think is a cool mechanic to keep for this arc,
Yeah.
where they're gonna have to be trading it off.
Yeah.
Which is gonna lead to them passing the ball, Joe. I'm just gonna point that out. They're gonna be doing some passes later.
Lots of passing.
Set up for future things. I like this moment where they jump on the donuts, and then the frogs also jump on the donuts, and then they're just like, duke up. They start fighting.
They just got the little sideways faces. They're
This
like,
is just a wipeout game.
Yeah, that's the word I was going for. It's got those wipeout vibes. He gets tri-beamed because Homeboy's smart enough to pass the ball to Momo.
Yeah.
And then we got a little side thing. So this is also, not only is it all this, Tyler, this is also Greed Island. So we're like
yeah.
doing like 8 things at once where each card from the bosses has a new effect. Which is kind of like a neat gimmick that you don't have, like, we're going to fight with a power system that's only this, where like feeding stuff to the enemies changes their composition, and you get to use the knight's equipment. I think this person turns into a rock, and they're like, that's useless. Nope. You're going to use that rock like a Mario 3 power-up, where you're going to, like, or Kirby in Smash Brothers.
You're gonna fall through a wall, or just like someone's gonna meteorite themselves.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be great. And then we got, this is what I was like, this little bitch is annoying, like the little turtle ghost thing. I remember what annoyed me so much. It's like, you need to be an idol. She's like, but I want to be a novelist. She's like, nah, be an idol. It's like, just let my girl have her dreams. She suffered enough.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe this character will grow on me. Turbo Granny clears. I love Turbo Granny.
Yeah.
But I digress. Can I talk about how cute Vamola is? Like, her broken Japanese English is very adorable. I'm glad that she's part of the crew. I think, like, before, at some point, like, they had Rin's hair up, like, Vamola's hair. That's funny. I like how she copies Gigi. Like, she copies his axolotl face. So, like, just a great addition to the crew, by all accounts. And then that leads us to, like, the last little bits here, which is, like, they go to the town, and romance starts happening. I'm like, you're a cool dude, Zuma, but watch yourself. Yeah. How y'all feel about Love Triangle Part 2? We got the GG Love Triangle, and now we have
this is not a... Nah.
Fake out? Fake out triangle?
Yeah, fake out.
I think so. It would be interesting if she's wanting Okaru to tell her that he loves her. What do y'all what is going through this teenage girl's mindset right now? Because she writes the curry, and then she's the one that freaks out. is she just waiting for Okarun to like say it back? But like, man up.
I think there's a
Nase, you
I
gotta
think
do
there's a
it too.
panel. I think there's a page where like she wanted it to be explicitly like I love you through like I love you through the curry, but Okaru misinterpreted it as like a friendly I love you kind of a thing, and so I think she's kind of thinks the ball is in his court now, essentially.
Right. Okay. She doesn't understand that he
Yeah.
like she was worried. Did he read it or not? And
Yes.
he's worried of like what did it mean, which I guess is pretty compelling.
Yeah.
This arc better end with them dating. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Also, we felt like I mentioned the cop thing, and then I realized he literally shows up this chapter right before that scene.
Yeah.
He's chasing them down.
I don't. Is he gonna be like the older guy in the crew for our JRPG party? Maybe. All I want to say, guys, is like that sports like end game is looking like the team is growing. They all have like their own. It may be like it may not be soccer, but I could see like a sports festival style tournament arc for the last like fight of the. Like I don't know if they're still fighting for the golden ball at that point, but it could be something like that where they're playing for the ball against like every enemy faction because there's subterraneans in this world. Can't forget that.
Yeah.
What are the ghosts gonna be doing?
They want the ball for some reason. I don't know. Reiko's gonna round
The
up
ball
the
is what
ghosts.
gives them power. Like that's what that's just part of it.
Yeah, they feed off of that.
It's just it's just they suck it dry. It's the
That-
first thing that happened in your chapter. I'll suck your dick.
Yeah, so-
It's the first thing that happens.
hey,
in the
let's talk about that for a sec. The anime got announced for October. So
Oh God.
Good Halloween anime.
this is gonna
Yeah.
be such a blow up. It's gonna get annoying even.
Yeah.
This has been waiting
I'm
for
gonna
its
know.
time to be the popular thing because I think like
Mhm.
who would not like Dandadan? It's got something for everyone, you know.
Yeah.
I really hope they get some bopping intros like Mashal has gotten.
I think the music has potential to be like really good.
Mashal is. Yeah.
Mashal's got good stuff going on.
No.
No. Then why do you wish this upon her?
Because the intro's a banger.
Okay. Oh, the intro's gonna be. I have strong. It's not the same studio, but I have strong Mob Psycho like kind of vibes from what they're gonna do. Did y'all watch the trailer? I will say like the art style is very like simple.
Trailer was very quick.
It's
it was hard to
simplified.
read. Yeah.
But I think the simplification is gonna lead to like the action scenes looking really good because there's a lot of moving parts to them. What I do think is the anime won't be able to like be a replacement for the manga necessarily because like look at the artistry and craft. This is a weekly manga, my guys. Like this is not your average manga. Like this guy is cooking at a level that I can't say anyone is on a weekly level. So I think I hope it gets people on the manga and that it can live up and be like nearly as good or like a good companion piece for me because I definitely want to watch like all of it. I want to see how they adapt all that insanity. But yeah, what do y'all think is gonna happen with this arc? Let's talk the future now that I'm caught up to y'all.
There's gonna be an instance where like they're gonna because if you remember on the chef card it says like if you eat something in here, it may lead to you staying here forever.
It's like
right?
you become a resident of the world, which I don't know what that means.
Which I feel like is very much like I think that's going to be like a very like Spirited Away kind of a thing, like turning into pigs or turning into something else. Right?
Yeah.
Like the frog people were like people that came into the board game.
I was going to say the frog people keep calling the humans monsters, and that's like a thing they touch on like 3 times, and they're like, "What are you talking about? You guys are the monsters." But I feel like I can't like rationalize what it's gonna be, but there's gonna be something to that. I feel.
Yeah. It just turns out this is all Undertale.
Great, more references.
Yeah. But I think like Ogre's gonna have to come in and like shake him out of it and bring him back out. Well, obviously, but like there also maybe Crazy Man is not like is leaving some information out.
Ooh, the guy who was here 40 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like if you think about it, he's been here for 40 years. He had to have eaten something or do something, right?
He said he said I survived off of a lot of sweets, so he was eating the food of the world. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Ooh, what if he was sent here by whatever the evil boss is gonna be to be like, I'll free you, but you have to bring people back or something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're cooking. I definitely think
Yeah.
the cop's gonna get involved, and I hope he, fuck it, make the cop an ally, whatever. I want the crew to get big. I want Final Fantasy party levels of character numbers.
Yeah. What if the cop is like a rival exorcist to the grandma?
I highly doubt that, but yeah, go for it.
I mean, just
We should get rival exorcists at some point, though. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
we have is like the heavy metal guys. One last thing I wanted to do, not a full tier list, but let's get a top 10 favorites that we got. Who y'all liking so far?
well the base crew is pretty good.
We got we got the base crew. They're all gonna make it in.
Yo, who drew Okarun with this much drip?
That's a volume cover, Okaroon. That's why he's got drip.
Yeah.
I like Vamola. This guy grew on
Yeah.
me. Sakata, I think he's funny.
It's like, okay, he's a joke. We'll roll with it.
But they're rolling.
Very, very good.
I gotta say, Serpo's gotta be in our list if we get like a top 10.
Man, shrimp guy.
Shrimp guy's the guy. That's our list.
Also, Minecraft man for just showing up for one chapter, like, oh yeah, that's like literally God.
They name dropped him when I was reading Ludris Ublum or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
oh wait, we gotta throw her in. Okay, but who's the best? Okarun's my favorite, but I want to see where you guys. And we can update this as we go along to see who everyone's feeling.
Are you sure it's not red-haired guy?
Gigi? Gigi's
Yeah.
funny, but Okarun's got like a good character, and he's
Yeah.
badass. Every time Okarun shows up, I pop off.
I don't know.
Come on.
Gigi kind of is better in every way.
Okay, well, how we feel about
Nah.
Momo compared to the two of them then? Who you like? What's your top 3 between them?
You mean the main character?
I mean, Okarun's maybe even more of a main character than Momo. They're kind of tied.
Hot take.
How is that a hot take? They have the same. Joe, how you
hot
feeling?
take.
I don't know if Tyler's like cooking something up or
I think
he's
no.
just-
No,
He's
no, I'm
just
just
saying
saying
hot
shit.
take.
Okay.
That's how he gets us.
I think I like Okarun more than Momo.
Let's
and
settle
then it's
for
Gigi.
this for Tyler.
Yeah. I think it's disrespectful to put Momo at 3rd, but that's just me. I like oh God, I can never pronounce her
Arai?
name. Arai.
She's
I
my
like
least
her.
favorite, actually, of like everyone on this list. Aside from
But
maybe-
she's growing on me because
She's
she's starting to get more and more of like that kind of like understanding of like being a leader in serious
she was
role. 'Cause she's the one that
badass
like
last arc.
yeah, she's the one that kicks their ass in terms of like getting themselves in shape for everything. And I really like that in the character's growth.
Let's throw Vamola next. I like Vamola.
Yeah.
Everyone likes
Grandma.
Vamola. She's funny. Grandma could be next.
I think Turbo Granny. No, I like Turbo Granny more than
Okay, fair. You know what? Fair.
just the fact of her walking up and going like, "I don't understand this fucking bullshit," and leaving is so fucking funny. To me.
Let's throw Class Rep over here. She has room to grow, and Shrimp Boy can be our gatekeeper from every other character.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's our running favorites. We'll try to keep track of them. Shout outs to Ayase's friends. They always make me laugh.
Worst
And,
wingmen's.
Oh, dude, this is the fucking I
the
forgot
mannequin.
about these two. It's cool to just look at these and remember these characters.
Yeah.
That's Granny's helper guy. Then we got some of the ghosts and aliens. This fucking girl, like she goes
Lizard
like,
people.
what does she say? She says like
Jennifer
Jennifer
Lopez.
Lopez Anaconda Strike or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we got our good Cthulhu boy, who I hope returns. So there's our crew.
Yeah.
All right, we will touch back on this when I catch up next, which is at least 2 months. Though I'm interested to see where this is going, so I might go back to weekly for a little bit. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. All right, that wraps that up. Nice and clean. Bye-bye,
Sorry for not
everyone.
talking so much.
You're
My
good.
throat
Yeah.
dirty.
You said
Good.
you answered the questions when I needed them, and you said hot take, and I was like, shit, he's cooking.
My throat hurty.